Alright, Greg here again with one called None Shall Make Them Afraid. Yeah, we got some prophecy, prophecy in the Old Testament here. Ezekiel 34:28, Micah 17:2, Micah 4:4 rather. It's Isaiah 17:2, Zephaniah 3:13. But they shall dwell safely, and none shall make them afraid. Now, this seems to me to be a allusion to all these terror alerts that we've had over the last several years, especially during the Bush administration. I think they've tapered off a bit the last couple years, but we were bombarded with these red alert, yellow alert, orange alert, terror threat on California bridges, threat of terrorists with suitcase nukes. Here's a couple more typical headlines. New terrorism threat in Indonesia. Experts tackle bioterror threat. FBI says college basketball terror threat possible. Now, this was back during the Sweet 16, the March Madness tournaments. In fact, they trotted that one out a second year and dusted it off and repasted it into some new websites a second year. They all failed. None of them ever come to pass. And then also there's the constant threats of new epidemics. All the threats we got concerning SARS. And oh yeah, remember Y2K where they tried to scare everybody to death over that one? The whole world was going to come to a stop with that one because the computers would crash in when it rolled over. For the computers rolled over from 1999 to about 2000. Didn't happen. I am probably going to die of a heart attack from the next terror threat in the headlines to read in my newspaper rather than being killed by some Al-Qaeda boogeyman. Well, nevertheless, here's even more the Lord tells us about beforehand. Apparently we have another failed terrorism prediction. This one I've seen on Fox News 2 different times. And a number of websites linked to this bogus news article. I have become of the opinion that these warnings, there have been numerous warnings as noted before, are designed not to warn of impending attack, but to frighten the folks in America and keep them frightened. I think it seems to me like a frightened public is a controlled public. Now this one says, expert says terror attack imminent in America in 90 days. Never happened. Fox News article website can link to that one twice, 2 different times. About a year and a half later after the first one he linked it. But then we have another prophecy being fulfilled here. Evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving being deceived. That's 2 Timothy 3:13. All these bogus terror alerts never happen. That's deception. But it's a great Ezekiel 34:28 is also a great promise that when we come into heaven we shall dwell safely, and nobody's going to make us afraid with all these terror threats. They ain't going to happen. Trust Jesus today. He loves you. He loved me. All you have to do is call upon His name and you'll be saved.